Hi, in this video we're going to learn about functions in C language. Okay, so assume that we have a requirement for finding factorial of a number. So factorial of a number is a product of the number from 1 to n. For example, if you want to find factorial of 4, the value for the factorial is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, so it will be 24. And if you want to find the factorial of 5, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and into 5, the multiplication up to 5, that will be 120. So now assume, so we need to find factorial of a number using C program. So here is how the program looks like. So we'll be writing code, we'll be declaring a variable and we'll be declaring another variable I for the iteration purpose, and for storing the result we have a variable called fact. And now using printf, I'm going to read the number, and here it's a scanf to store the number value into the variable n. And I have written a for loop which is iterating from 1 to n, and I'm storing the value into fact. So initially when I value is 1, the value will be assume that I'm going to enter n value as 4, and here initially for the first time the value of fact is 1, and now when for the first time I value will be 1 and fact into fact star 1, this will be 1, and I value will become 2, and again multiplied by 2, and again, so next time I value will be 3 and it will be multiplied by 3, and the last time 4 less than or equal to 4, the value will be into 4 and total. So the value, and next time when I value becomes 5, since 5 is less than or equal to 4, it will come outside for loop. So and here I'm going to print the factorial of %d. So for the first %d place I'm printing n value, which is actually whatever value user entered, and it is 4. And here I'm going to print the factorial value, which is actually the calculated value of for 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, which is actually 24. So when you run the program, you will see that factorial of 4 is equal to 24. So let's try that. I'm going to use dev C++ software to execute the program. So let's use dev C++ software. Okay. So here is the program. So declaration of variables, and then entering a number, reading the number, and writing a for loop from 1 till the number, and here I'm multiplying the result into the next number, storing it in fact. And I'm printing factorial of %d is equal to %d and n comma fact. So let's try to run the program. So execute and run the program. You can see that I just want to compile it, and now I'm going to execute the program now. So it's executing. You can see that I'm going to enter the value 4, and we can see that the factorial of 4 is 24. So similarly, if I execute, if I run the program again, and if I enter some value 5, you can see that factorial of 5 is 120. Now assume that I have a requirement to calculate factorial of 2 numbers. So now here let me declare the value n1 again, the second value. So I'll again write the code for printf and scanf, and here I'm going to write enter any number, enter any second number. I'm going to read this into n1. So now for calculating this factorial, I need to write the same for loop again, and I need another fact1 is equal to 1 for the factorial of the second number. So I'm going to copy paste the same logic here, the same exact as is logic, and here I'm going to put n1, and I'm going to store it in fact1, the result. And I'm going to print the value of this factorial here, factorial of %d, n1 and fact1. So what you notice here is that I need to find the factorial of number 2 times, and here I have written the same functionality 2 times. So now if I run the program, you can see that. Let me compile the program. We don't see any errors, and let me execute the program. So now enter the first number, I'm going to enter 4, enter the second number, I'm going to enter 5. So we can see that the factorial of 4 is 24, we got it here, and factorial of 5 is 120, we got it here. So now assume that we need to find factorial for 5 numbers, something like this. So we need to write the same logic, we need to repeat the same logic 5 times, which is not advisable. So it is something like we are repeating the code for the same functionality. Instead, we can create a separate block of it, and then we can reuse the same functionality. So here, let's get back to our slide here. So now, what if I need to calculate the factorial thrice? So do I need to write this logic thrice. So do I need to write this logic thrice for 3 times factorial? Well, we don't need it. We can write code once and reuse the same using functions. So see here, I have written the code again using functions. Now I've written a simple function here in factorial, and the name of the function is factorial, and I'm passing the parameter. This is called as parameter. So whatever you pass inside this brackets, we call it as parameters. So to find factorial of a number, all you need is the number alone. So we are passing that number here, and we just declared a value I is equal to 1 and fact is equal to 1 again, and we are writing a for loop, and here we are returning the factorial. So this function just takes the number and returns the factorial of that number. And now see here, we have declared, so here we have function declaration, which will have the return type. So what is the return type of the function, and also it will have what is the parameters for the function. So to calculate the function, we need the input number, and once the factorial is calculated, that will return the integer. So this is the return type, and this is the input number. Now see, now we are calling this method using this way, factorial. Previously we are written here fact, so now we are calling this function, and once this line encounters a void main, this will call this method, and this will pass the parameter whatever we pass here, and factorial is returned back to here. So now let's try to see this program in dev C++. So I have this program here, and here I have this void main, I have this code, and I have this function which is written here. So let's try to execute this. So let's try to compile that before. So let me compile this. We don't see any errors, and let's execute this. Now we see that I entered 4, and we see factorial of 4 is 24. So now what if I want to calculate the factorial for 2 numbers? So very good. So now I'll just copy paste it here, and enter at the same code, enter second number, and I'm going to write here n2. So now I have the second number n2. So what I'll do is I don't write the factorial logic again. I simply write factorial. I'm going to call n2, and here I'm going to call. I'm not writing for loop again. Instead, I'm calling this factorial method second time. So let's try to execute this and see what happens. So let me add a /n here, so that we'll see the output in second line. So let me compile this, and okay. So we need to declare the variable n2. Okay, I have declared it. So now let me compile this. Okay, we don't see any errors, and let me run the program. So I'm entering 4, I'm entering the second number 5. You can see that I'm getting the output as 24 and 120. So we don't need to write the logic again and again. We can call this function any number of times wherever we need. Okay, so that is the use of functions. So function is specifically designed for modularizing the content. So imagine you need a functionality which needs to be repeatedly used in your code. You can go for making that as a function. So now let's see what are the points we need to note down. So functions are code blocks specifically written for a particular task. So the function which you wrote here in this example is to find factorial of a number, which takes an integer and returns an integer. So here you can see that whatever the value it takes, this is called parameter, and whatever it returns is called return type of the function. And now, so functions are code blocks specifically written for a particular task, and functions can be reused any number of times. We saw that we used the factorial 2 times, and functions will normally have a method declaration, method definition, and a method call. So let's go back and see in the slide. So here this is called method declaration, and this is called method definition. So here we are defining what the method is actually having, and this is called function call. Hope it's clear. So hope we are clear with functions.